So if you would get in a comfortable position, and our tech team is going to spotlight me for the sermon today, and let's get started. I was baptized and confirmed in the United Methodist Church in the small town where I grew up. My religious memories include enjoying Sunday school and youth outings and being totally bored during the adult Sunday services. I seldom understood what the guy was talking about or what the message was for the sermon. However, over time, my severe skepticism and doubts started in high school, and I tried to leave the church quietly. But it was not a peaceful separation. You see, I got kicked out of church camp. That's a story for a different day. But that all happened when I was about 15, and for the next 32 years, I had absolutely no religious affiliation. I moved to Salt Lake City about 1975 and became a stranger in a strange land. If you're not familiar with Utah, there's about 3 million people living there, and in 1975, 75% of the population belonged to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. I had never heard of this religion, but being a seeker, I investigated the church. I read, I talked to Mormons, I went to church. I even took the 10 weekly sessions taught by clean-cut young male missionaries. Ultimately, it wasn't for me. I still have a respect for the religion, in part, because all it takes is one leap of faith, and all questions are answered. All questions are answered, all of them. Why am I here? What happens when I die? How do I lead a good life? How was the universe created? Why is there evil? Where are my ancestors? How did all this come to be? What does this all mean? All the questions are answered. But I've always struggled with authority. And I've always been skeptical, even rebellious, of being told what to believe and how to behave. Then, in 2001, I walked into a Unitarian Universalist church, and I walked through those doors with an abundance of skepticism, doubt, questions, and a humongous chip on my shoulder. I was ready to fight or flee from this church as soon as anyone there told me what to believe. But they didn't. So I stayed, and I waited for that moment when I'd be told what to believe, and I would get the hell out of there. But that didn't happen. The congregation asked me, what do I believe? And was I living in accordance with my own personal beliefs? I found that this religion is founded and built upon uncertainty and a deep respect for my own personal spiritual journey. But this religion ain't easy. Without someone telling me what to believe, I had to decide for myself. And this proved far more difficult than I could have ever imagined. Because where there are no answers, there be uncertainty. In his book, Faith Without Certainty, Liberal Theology for the 21st Century, Unitarian Universalist minister Paul Razor says it this way, quote, "Liberal theology is not for the faint of heart. It points us in a direction without telling us the specific destination. It refuses to make our commitments for us, but holds us accountable for the commitments we make. The liberal religious tradition is an invitation, not a mandate. It invites us to live with ambiguity, to engage in dialogue without trying to control the conversation, to be open to change without accepting change too casually, to take commitments seriously but not blindly, and to be engaged in the culture without succumbing to the culture's values. Liberal religion calls us to strength without rigidity, conviction without ideology, openness without laziness. It asks us to pay attention. It is an eyes wide open faith, a faith without certainty. The beauty of Unitarian Universalism is that we bring our own experiences, our own questions, doubts, and ideas to the table and share them in covenant with one another, promising to honor and celebrate, to nurture, to care, to be present, to bear witness, and to be good stewards of each other and the lives we've been given to share. We are a religion that knows over time anything that is deemed permanent will change. But even accepting the uncertainties of life, we are a religion based on faith. But all religions are based on faith. However, I believe most religions are based on faith that are based on certainty. Most religions are faiths based on certainties, from Christianity to Buddhism to Islam to Mormonism. All offer certainty in their answers about this life and the next. Most religions offer some certainty about an existence after death, be it heaven or reincarnation. There's some kind of certainty about what's next after this physical existence ends. And faiths based on certainty can provide a path toward life through life's most horrific and challenging incidents. When I served as a chaplain in a level 1 trauma hospital, I learned that there are human conditions that are far worse than death. And I saw some people's faith carry them through horrific, horrible events in themselves or to their loved ones. I was in awe of how their belief, how their faith really made a difference. And in some cases, it healed them. And I saw people whose faith failed them. The certainties of life, health, love were all taken away, and some folks collapsed into dismal despair. I saw people die of just giving up. I saw doubt overwhelm and destroy what was once a highly religious person because things happened to them that made absolutely no sense. Certainty had vanished and their faith disappeared. There was a swimming party that summer, and the youths were all invited to this doctor's house. It was hot. The swimming pool was a bit cloudy. A young, strong athlete, 15 years old, couldn't swim and was found at the bottom of the cloudy pool, brought into hospital. It didn't look good. The family would gather. I would talk with them. At one point, their minister came, and we did a prayer circle, family and relatives, and we held hands around that young boy's bed and prayed. And they prayed, I prayed that Jesus would come and save him. I truly prayed the boy would return to life. But he didn't. The machines were stopped. The boy died. The father took me aside, and privately he asked me, would my son have lived if I had prayed harder? I told him, there were so many things that I do not understand, and I never will. Your son died, and I'm sorry, and I don't know why. I don't know why horrible things happen to good people. They just happen. And he stared into my eyes, and I knew I had gouged a deep gash in his soul. The father was coming from a faith of certainty, and he wanted an answer that fit. I was living with a faith based on uncertainty, and I could not comfort him with answers I didn't have. But what does faith mean in Unitarian Universalism? You know, there's never one answer to a UU question, but here's what I think. Faith is believing that our free and responsible search for the truth doesn't end once we find our first set of answers. Faith for me is believing that there's some mystery beyond my comprehension, and that mystical force moves through us all, and it contains so much love that we all benefit from it, even those who don't believe in it. When life gets all screwed up and I experience horrible things, faith guides me to respond with love and not panic. My faith is what keeps me going no matter what happens, because it is based on uncertainty. And there is so damn much uncertainty in my life and in the world that my faith is built upon a foundation of gigantic proportions. Paul Razor's book has some final thoughts about our religion. He says, quote, This is important work, but none of us can do this work alone. As much as we need constructive self-examination and critical dialogue, we need each other. We may never come to think alike or to act alike, and I hope we don't. But by participating in each other's faith journeys, by reaching out to each other and sharing in each other's struggles, we can strengthen our public prophetic voice and deepen our sense of community and our commitment to a shared faith tradition. Ours is not an easy religion for easy times. Ours is a religion that is hard and not for the faint of heart. Ours is a religion for hard times. Ours is a religion of faith without certainty. My prayer for you, may you seek fewer answers. May you embrace the mystery and uncertainty in your life's events. May your faith be strong and carry you through the hard times. May it be so. Peace. Amen, and blessed be.